Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my May TBR video for you. And let's go ahead and this is I didn't do great on my April TBR. I did not complete any of the books. I had 6 books on my TBR. 2 of them, these two, Mistborn and Chain of Gold, I did start, so I'm going to continue reading those. I started them, and then I had books to read for videos that I had collaborations already promised to, and I got so many arcs in April that I was not expecting. I had the opportunity to get on Brittany Cherry and Carissa Broadbent's arc team, and I was like, absolutely, yes, please, thank you very much. And then I also got another arc. Oh, Anna Huang's arc. I'm on Anna Huang's arc team too, so I had a lot of arcs that I had either forgotten about or wasn't expecting, and so that kind of derailed any of my reading plans. So this month, instead of doing 6, I am doing 10. Why wouldn't you plan to read more books in a month when you didn't read any of the books from the previous month's TBR? Why wouldn't you do that? That makes sense to me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so here are the 10 books that I want to read in May. Now, 4 of these are absolutely happening for sure, because I have a couple of arcs, I have a read-along, and then I have a buddy read. So let's get into those first. So the arcs that I have is, the first one is Fourth Wing. This is a fantasy romance I've been hearing a ton about. All I really know about this is that everyone is loving it. And like, that makes me so nervous, because that's typically when I don't like a book. I struggle with books that are really popular. They never work for me. But I have my fingers crossed for this one. This is actually part of a read-along, a book club that Carrie put together, the Crow's Book Club. We are going to be reading this as a group, and our live show will be, I'll put the date and the time on the screen, and I believe it will be on Christy's channel from Christy Reads a Lot. Okay, now, the other arcs that I have one historical. I have The Duchess Takes a Husband by Harper St. George. I really loved the previous book in this series, and I really liked the book before that. The first book in this series I didn't love quite as much, but I've kept up with them because this is a case that I find really interesting, and author for me has gotten better with each release that they've had, so, oh my gosh, I am so hoping to love this book. I'm very, very excited about it. I don't know what it's about. Historical romance, Gilded Age. I really like this series. The last one, the previous book in this series, I'll put a picture right here. Dumb me, can't remember the title. I loved that book so much. So, very excited about this one. And then one of my most anticipated arcs that is going to be read very early on, which I'm probably in the middle of reading right now when you're watching this video, is Grim and Barrett by Juliet Cross. I love and adore Juliet Cross. I fell in love with her books in 2020 when I first picked up Wolf Gone Wild. This whole series is sort of like a rom-com paranormal romance, and they are just so much fun. I love how she writes her heroes. I love how she writes her romance. She has a really fun world building, great sense of family in this series, and I'm just so excited about this. This is the last book, and I know a lot of people have already read their arcs, but I've kind of been holding off because I don't want to say goodbye, but I will have this read for sure by the time that it is published, which I believe is May 9th. So it's definitely going to be read before then, so I can get my review out. Okay, so now my buddy read is actually one I'm very excited about. It is Emma by Jane Austen. This, believe it or not, Emma is the only book I have not read by Jane Austen. I have read all of her other books. I am a huge Jane Austen fan. Y'all probably know that if you've been watching me for a while. And I am so excited to get to this one, but because this one has more of a comedic bent, I've kind of stayed away from it because I typically tend to prefer books that are a little more melancholy. I don't know why, but I am excited about this, and I'm very excited to be buddy reading this with Autumn from Autumn Knows in a Book. I'll have her channel linked down below, so make sure you go and check her out. She is super sweet. She's just been getting into historical romances and having a lot of book hauls, so if you love historical romances, go give her a follow and give her some support. Okay, so now the other books that I want to get to. These are books that are like hopeful, that are really calling to me, or that have been calling to me for a while. So the first book is The Thief. So this is actually a YA book that was published many years ago and by Megan Wallen Turner, who is a very well-known author, and I have never read this book or this series. I feel like this book was popular at a time when I was not reading YA, so when I was in a YA reading phase, everybody was talking about it, but I was like, oh, that's an older book. I don't want to read an older book. I wanted to read the newer books. But I just recently watched an interview with Laini Taylor, who is probably one of my top favorite authors. I love Laini Taylor. It was a panel with her and Megan Wallen Turner. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. They were talking about some new products that were being in like owl crate boxes or something like that. But they were also talking about their writing in their books. And I think Megan Wallen Turner has or recently had a new book come out that's kind of a spin-off of the series. And just listening to them talk and hearing Laini specifically really love and gush and sort of be a little fangirl in that moment had made me like, okay, it is time to pick that book up. So I bought myself a copy. I'm very excited about it, and I am definitely going to be reading this, hopefully this month. Okay, another book that I am really hopeful to read is Child of the Prophecy by Juliette Marillier. I started reading Juliette Marillier last year because of my dear friend Jessin, and I have not confirmed with her when we can buddy read this, but she has assured me that anytime I pick this up, she wants to buddy read it with me, so this is another buddy read, technically. This is book 3 in the Seven Waters series, so the first 2 are sort of, not necessarily back-to-back, but this one I believe is like a generation down the line. I'm not entirely sure how much time has passed, but I'm sure some of you all will let me know in the comments. But, anyway, I'm going to read this book. Fantasy, slight romantic vibes, and I love and adore her writing and her world building. I think she's just fantastic. I love her book so much. Okay, so now onto a few contemporary romances I want to read. So I went through some of my audiobook services to see what was available to me and what I kind of wanted to prioritize, and one of them is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I've heard really good things about this. I know Chandler loves B.K. Borison, BK, or as she likes to call her, Burger King. Anyway, this, I don't know much about it. It's a contemporary romance. I really liked Love Light Farms. I thought that was super cute and very sweet, and I really liked the author's writing style, so I have very high hopes for this one, and yeah, can't wait for that. Okay, the next one is Mafia Mistress. This has been on several TBRs, y'all. I know it's been on several TBRs. This is one of those books that I love. So this is by Mila Finelli, and if you didn't know, this is public knowledge now. That is the pen name for Joanna Shupe, the historical romance author, and I love Joanna Shupe. Love her. Love her so hard. Except for the books of hers that I don't. But I think because I knew that's who the author was, I was super nervous. I'm super nervous about this book. I really, really am nervous, but I want to try it. I really want to try it. And the audiobook, I have it sitting in my Audible library. I need to read it. I need to get to it. So, okay, so now these last 2 books are books that were picked for me by friends. I did the 12 Friends Choose 12 Reads challenge this year, and I did not get to the books that I need to read before I read the... I'm going to edit that out. So, these 2 are books that I really want to read, and I may read both of them this month, or I may not. I don't know, but they're ones I want to get to. The first one is Venetia by Georgette Heyer. I have never read Georgette Heyer. This was recommended to me by Chris, and I am very, very excited to read this. I did get the audio. I found it at my library, and the thing that really clinched the deal on me doing the audio version is realizing that the narrator is Richard Armitage. So I'm going to have a really good time listening to this one. It's going to be wonderful. I'm very excited about this, so... Okay, and then the next book that is on the last book on my TBR for May, and the book that is part of the 12 Friends Challenge, is Between Wrath and Mercy by Jen from the Book Refuge. She picked this book for me. The only thing I really know about this is it's a fantasy romance, and it's with an older couple. Like, she has, I think they're, I don't actually know how old they are, but I think she has like a grown daughter, maybe late 30s, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited about this one. I love when they have an older couple in romance, and I wish we had more of them. So, very excited about that. And yeah, those are the books that I hope to read in May. Y'all have to let me know which of these books you want me to read the most and review for you, and I'll do my best to make sure and get that one done. So, thank you so much for watching this video, my friends. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and if you haven't made it this far, please feel free to leave me a ladybug emoji, and I'll see y'all in my next video.